All right, so get ready, because today we're taking a deep dive into some pretty mind-bending stuff.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to be exploring this idea of consciousness
and
reality as it's presented by this YouTube channel called Library of Tehuti.
Okay.
And just a heads up, their central claim is pretty out there.
Okay.
They're saying that you're not just human, but you're like this God particle having a human experience.
It's a concept that, you know, on the surface might sound a little strange, but when you really dive into the ideas that they're talking about, it really does make you rethink your place in the universe.
For sure. We're going to be looking at things like the soul, universal consciousness. We'll even touch on some quantum physics stuff too.
Yeah.
So if you've ever felt like, hey, there's got to be more to me than just this physical body, then you're in the right place.
This is for you.
Definitely.
Yeah, think of it like this. Your body isn't actually you. It's more like the spacesuit that you're wearing to explore this physical world. The real you, the limitless you, is the astronaut inside.
Whoa. I love that analogy.
Yeah.
It really flips the script on how we usually think about ourselves.
It's a shift from identifying with those limitations to recognizing our true essence.
Okay, so let's unpack this whole God particle idea a little bit further.
Yeah.
The video describes the universe as this massive ocean of consciousness.
Okay.
And we're all kind of like waves in that ocean.
Yeah.
So we look separate on the surface, but we're actually all made of the same stuff.
And that actually leads us to some interesting connections to quantum physics.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure you're familiar with the double-slit experiment.
Yeah, that's the one where just by watching those particles, it changes how they behave.
Exactly. Well, the video takes it a step further.
Okay.
It suggests that our consciousness itself might be influencing those particles.
Whoa, hold on.
It's pretty wild.
So you're saying that our minds are actually shaping reality?
In a way, yeah. And this brings up some really big questions.
Right.
Like, what if our individual consciousness is just one tiny drop in this vast ocean of universal consciousness?
Okay.
What if there's way more to reality than what we can see or hear or touch with our senses?
So we're not just talking about the physical world here.
No.
We're talking about like other levels of consciousness.
Exactly. Think of it like maps of consciousness.
Okay.
Our everyday perception, that's just one map. But there are other maps that can reveal different aspects of reality.
I'm picturing those old maps that say like, here be dragons, you know, around the edges.
Yeah, exactly.
Like we're venturing into uncharted territory here.
Exactly. And the video even gives us this exercise, this practical exercise to try to glimpse these other realms.
Oh, okay. What is it?
It suggests closing your eyes and focusing on the space between your thoughts.
It's almost like trying to hear the silence between the notes in a song.
Yes, exactly. It's about becoming aware of that silent space of pure awareness that's always there, beyond the chatter of our minds.
Have you ever tried this?
I have. It takes practice, but that stillness, that's where it gets interesting.
Oh, okay.
It's like stepping back from the noise of your thoughts and connecting with something much deeper, more fundamental.
So it's not about like emptying your mind completely. It's more about noticing the space around the thoughts.
Precisely. And the video suggests that this practice can actually help us access our true nature.
Our true nature as like universal consciousness.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're like tapping into our inner God particle by finding that stillness.
You could say that. It's about shedding the limitations of our physical form and experiencing a much wider sense of self.
And from that place, from that expanded awareness, is that how we start to overcome all those limitations the video's talking about?
Exactly. Think of it like this. How would universal consciousness, that vast ocean of potential, how would it respond to a problem that you're facing?
That's a powerful reframe.
Yeah.
Instead of seeing challenges as these obstacles, we can see them as opportunities to grow and expand.
Exactly.
Imagine if you could actually expand outward. So you start with your body, then the room, then the building,
the city,
the planet.
The entire universe.
Whoa, that's a mind-blowing visualization.
It is, and it's all about experiencing the vastness of our true nature, recognizing that we're not limited by our physical body or even our own thoughts and beliefs.
So if we have this amazing potential within us, does that mean that we also have the ability to shape our reality?
That's a big question, and one that I think we should explore in more detail after a quick break.
All right, sounds good.
So stay with us. We're just getting started.
So this idea that we can shape our own reality,
it's a powerful concept.
It's kind of exciting, but also maybe a little intimidating.
Yeah, I mean, it invites us to really take responsibility for our thoughts and our beliefs and our actions.
Yeah, for sure, because if we're literally co-creating our reality, then what we focus on becomes super important.
The video suggests that, our expectations can really influence the outcomes in our lives. Have you ever noticed, like, when you're in a really positive mood, things just seem to go your way?
Oh, absolutely. It's like when you wake up expecting a good day, you tend to notice all the little good things that happen.
Exactly. And on the flip side, when we're dwelling on negativity and fears, we tend to attract more of that into our experience.
So it's not just about, like, thinking positive thoughts. It's about actually shaping our reality through our intentions.
It's about visualization.
Okay.
Not from a place of lack, but from a place of understanding that we're connected to this unlimited source of universal consciousness.
Okay. So we're like tapping into that ocean of potential and directing it towards what we desire.
Yeah.
But how do we actually do that?
Well, the video suggests starting with awareness,
Okay.
becoming more conscious of our thoughts, our beliefs, our actions.
So hitting the pause button on autopilot and being more intentional about how we show up in the world.
Exactly. And once we become more aware of those thoughts and beliefs, we can start to challenge the ones that are holding us back.
Those limiting beliefs.
Yeah, those voices that say, you're not good enough, or you can't do that.
Yeah, everyone's got that inner critic, right? It's
And
like rewriting the script of our life.
exactly. Remember, we are not those limitations.
Okay.
We are that unlimited potential choosing to experience those limitations.
That is such a good reminder.
It's about recognizing our inherent worthiness
Yes.
and aligning our beliefs with that truth.
Okay, and speaking of aligning with our true nature, the video also talks a lot about gratitude.
Oh, gratitude is huge.
It really is. It's like that shift from focusing on what you lack to appreciating what you have.
And suddenly the world seems full of abundance.
Exactly.
It really is. It's a powerful practice for aligning ourselves with that energy of abundance and allowing more good things to flow into our lives.
Okay, so we've got awareness, we've got challenging those limiting beliefs, we've got gratitude. What else does the video suggest?
It talks about forgiveness, both forgiving ourselves for past mistakes and letting go of resentments towards others.
Yeah, holding on to anger or resentment is like carrying around a heavy weight.
It keeps us stuck in the past and prevents us from moving forward.
For sure.
Forgiveness is an act of liberation.
Okay.
It frees up that energy and creates space for healing and growth.
It's not about condoning hurtful actions. It's about freeing ourselves from the pain of those experiences.
Precisely. And speaking of releasing burdens,
Okay.
the video also talks about the importance of detachment.
Detachment, what does that mean in this context?
It means letting go of our attachment to specific outcomes,
Okay.
doing our best in each moment without being overly fixated on how things will turn out.
Oh, so it's like surrendering to the flow of life.
Yeah, trusting that the universe has a plan.
I got to admit, that one's tough for me.
I understand.
I like to have things planned out.
I know, but think of it this way. When we surrender to the present moment and trust in the wisdom of the universe, we open ourselves up to possibilities
We never even imagined.
they might never have imagined.
It's like letting go of the reins
Yeah,
and allowing ourselves to be guided by something bigger.
exactly. And that brings us to another important practice for aligning with our God particle nature, connecting with our intuition.
Oh, intuition, that inner voice
Yes.
that sometimes whispers guidance, sometimes whispers warnings, but we often ignore it.
It's like our built-in GPS for navigating life's journey.
I love that analogy.
Sometimes our inner GPS can be a little off, though.
For sure, it's like mine needs a software update or something.
Yeah, the video suggests practices like meditation, spending time in nature, journaling, just to quiet the mind and create space for those intuitive insights.
Those are great practices.
It's about making space for that inner wisdom to come through.
Yeah.
Intuition is like a muscle.
Okay.
The more you use it, the stronger it gets.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got awareness, challenging those limiting beliefs, gratitude, forgiveness, detachment, connecting with our intuition. It sounds like a whole toolkit for our inner God particle.
It is, and these practices not only help us shape our own reality,
Okay.
but they also contribute to a larger shift in consciousness.
Oh, so it's not just about personal transformation. It's about collective evolution.
Exactly. The video talks about the importance of service to others,
Okay.
using our gifts to make a positive impact on the world.
It's like recognizing that we're all connected. And when we help others, we ultimately help ourselves.
True fulfillment comes from aligning our actions with our soul's purpose, using our gifts to serve a greater good.
It's like everything clicks into place.
Yeah.
When we're living in alignment with our true nature, individually and collectively.
Precisely. And that brings us to one final point that the video really emphasizes, the importance of love.
Love, that's a pretty big concept. What does the video say about love specifically?
It suggests that love is the most powerful force in the universe, the very essence of our divine nature.
So we're not just talking about romantic love. We're talking about a broader sense of love.
It's about compassion, kindness, understanding for ourselves and for everyone around us.
Recognizing that divine spark in each other.
Exactly. We each have the power to be a beacon of love and light in the world.
And the more we embody love in our thoughts, words, and actions,
the more we contribute to that collective awakening of consciousness.
Okay, so this is all incredibly inspiring, but the video also delves into some pretty mystical stuff.
Yeah.
Like out-of-body experiences and astral projection. What are your thoughts on that?
Those are definitely some intriguing areas to explore.
Yeah.
The video presents them as ways to experience our multidimensional nature.
Okay.
And tap into those realms beyond our physical perception.
So expanding our consciousness beyond our physical bodies.
Exactly.
That sounds pretty amazing, but honestly, it's a little intimidating too.
It's understandable to feel that way. It's stepping outside our comfort zone.
Yeah, it's not something to be taken lightly.
Definitely not. And the video emphasizes that. It encourages seeking guidance from experienced teachers if you're interested in exploring these realms safely.
Okay, so we've talked about shaping our individual reality.
Yeah.
We've talked about contributing to a collective evolution of consciousness. What about the video's vision of the future?
Now that's where things get really interesting, and that's what we'll explore after a quick break, so stay tuned.
So we've been on this deep dive with Library of Tehuti.
Yeah.
Exploring consciousness and reality.
It's been pretty wild.
We've talked about being these God particles.
Right.
We've talked about the power of our minds. Even touched on this idea of universal consciousness.
It's a lot to take in.
It really is.
Yeah.
And before we wrap up, I think it's important to acknowledge that not all these concepts are like universally accepted.
For sure. Some people might even find some of these ideas a bit controversial.
Yeah, like reincarnation, for example.
Right. The video presents reincarnation as this fundamental truth. You know, our souls evolving through multiple lifetimes.
Yeah.
But that's a belief system,
Right.
not a scientific fact.
And even within different spiritual traditions, there's all sorts of different interpretations of how reincarnation works.
Exactly.
That's definitely something that each person has to kind of explore for themselves.
I think that's true for a lot of these spiritual concepts.
Yeah.
It's important to approach them with an open mind, but also with some critical thinking.
Okay, so critical thinking's key.
Yeah.
What about the potential, like, downsides to this whole God particle mindset?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question.
Could it lead to, like, spiritual egotism?
It's a valid concern. I mean, if we start thinking we're these all-powerful divine beings,
Right.
it could definitely inflate our egos.
Yeah.
And lead to a sense of superiority or even arrogance.
It's like that saying, a little knowledge is a dangerous thing.
Right. We could misinterpret these ideas
Yeah,
and use them to justify selfish or harmful actions.
totally.
The video does caution against that. Using these ideas to simply boost our egos,
Right.
it's not about power or control. It's about love, compassion, service to others.
So it's not about becoming some, like, godlike figure
Right.
who, like, lords it over everyone else. It's about recognizing that spark of divinity
In everyone.
in everyone and treating each other with respect and kindness.
Exactly. And that actually leads to another potential pitfall. Spiritual bypassing.
Spiritual bypassing, I haven't heard of that.
It's basically when we use spiritual ideas or practices to avoid dealing with difficult emotions or like unresolved issues in our lives.
So instead of facing our problems head on,
Yeah.
we use spirituality to escape from them.
You could say that, for example, someone might use the God particle concept to feel better about themselves without actually addressing their insecurities or fears.
Like thinking, oh, I'm a divine being, so I don't have to worry about my finances or my relationships or like that fight I had with my best friend.
Exactly. That's spiritual bypassing. True spirituality isn't about escaping reality.
Right.
It's about integrating our spiritual understanding into our daily lives, facing those challenges with awareness and compassion.
So it's about finding that balance.
Yes.
Using these ideas as tools for growth and healing, but not letting them become a crutch to avoid dealing with the realities of being human.
Exactly. Embracing both our divine nature and our human experience.
Yeah, with all its ups and downs.
And all its complexities.
As we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
what's the key takeaway you hope listeners will remember?
I think the most important message is that we're all part of something much bigger than ourselves.
Yeah.
We're interconnected. We're
Yeah.
sharing this incredible journey together.
Whether you connect with this whole God particle thing, literally,
Right.
or if you just see it as a metaphor, that idea of interconnectedness, it's powerful.
It's a powerful reminder that our actions have an impact, not just on our own lives, but on the world around us.
And we have the power to choose love.
Compassion, unity,
Over fear, separation.
division.
It's a choice we make every single day.
Yeah.
The big decisions and the small ones.
And those choices, collectively, shape the future.
That's pretty amazing to think about.
It is.
So, to all our listeners out there,
Yeah.
keep exploring these ideas.
Keep asking questions.
Find your own unique path.
To growth and understanding.
Because the journey of self-discovery,
It never really ends.
it's a lifelong adventure.
Yeah.
And there's always more to learn,
More to experience.
more to become.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us.
See you next time.
We'll be back next week with another deep dive.
Until then, keep diving deep.